Saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. The five remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that I have life and opportunity, may I practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. Mahayana Refuge. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. Invocation of the lineage. I give thanks for the guidance of my teachers, for the lineage of teachers before them. I give thanks and offerings for their devoted practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. May their years of life be lengthened, may their vows be completely realized, and may I cultivate these perfections with their guidance. 7 practices of the Bodhisattva. I bow down in body, speech, and mind. I offer the best I have to give, both real and imagined, to fill the space between us. I regret and purify all transgressions. I rejoice in all virtues. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request wise and compassionate guidance. I dedicate my merit for the sake of all beings. Generating love and compassion. May all sentient beings be free from clinging and hatred. Being close to some and distant from others, how wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from clinging and hatred. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness in the causes of happiness. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them happiness in the causes of happiness. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from suffering and the causes of suffering. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings have the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from clinging, hatred, jealousy, miserliness, doubt, pride, wrong view, ignorance, and dualistic thoughts. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them to this state. Bless me to accomplish this. Please stand for the Heart Sutra, found on page 4. Great Prajna Paramita Heart Sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva practicing deep Prajna Paramita clearly saw that all 5 skandhas are empty, transforming all suffering and distress. Shariputra form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form, form is exactly emptiness, emptiness exactly form, sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness are also like this. Shariputra sutra. All things are essentially empty, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, without loss, without gain. Therefore in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no color, sound, smell, taste, touch, object of thought, no seeing, and so on, to no thinking, no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, and so on, to no old age and death, and also no ending of old age and death, no suffering, cause of suffering, cessation, path, no wisdom, and no attainment, since there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva lives by prajna paramita, with no hindrance in the mind, no hindrance, and therefore no fear, far beyond elusive thinking. Right here is nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future live by prajna paramita, attaining anuttara samyak sambodhi. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the great sacred mantra, the great vivid mantra, the unsurpassed mantra, the supreme mantra which completely removes all suffering. This is truth, not mere formality. Therefore set forth the prajna paramita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. All that is and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We offer this sincere and devoted practice for the many beings of the six worlds and dedicate it in grateful thanks to the strength and sound practice of the great Heartland Sangha and its teachers. May our virtuous actions be clear from all interferences, and may our vows be fully realized. We especially dedicate these merits to Ernest, Claire, all those who suffer as a result of injustices, calamity, cruelty, and war, to Ernest, Claire, Kaijin, Nancy, Sister Suzette, Utsuyo, Tenson, John, Charles, Stephen, Reverend Eugen, Laverne, Roger, and Kim. May they have peace and healing. And to Phil, Olive, Virginia, and Hayden at the time of their death, and to those whose names we hold in the silence of our hearts, as well as those who we now voice aloud. May we live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma, and may we realize the Buddha way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Arma School students and teachers all are dismissed. Everyone else, please prepare for Zazen. We will now recite the Sangha Covenant, found on page 8. We, the Daishin Kokuji Sangha, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the wisdom and compassion we seek to cultivate by practice, and with deep gratitude for the teachers of this lineage and our connection to one another, covenant to support each other by upholding the precepts of doing no harm, practicing good, and actualizing good for others. Please be seated. I'll sit comfortably and facing the altar so you can make eye contact with the teacher. And in a moment, we will recite the Gatan opening the sutra, also found on page 8. Gata on opening the sutra. The Dharma incomparably profound and infinitely subtle.
Ooh, nice and hot. Good morning, everybody. Something you may not know, the taking of a bit of tea traditionally at this moment is not ornamental. It's not purely practical, although it certainly can be practical. There's a ceremonial significance to this. There are various moments where the teachers combust their lives to care for the Sangha. That's how that is. And there are also moments when the Sangha takes care of the teachers, right? And so an offering of tea is an expression really of the Sangha caring for the teacher and caring for the lineage. Therefore, it would be inappropriate for me to begin a discourse without acknowledging that care and bowing to it and being grateful to receive it. And I most certainly am. Please move yourselves if you need to so that we can see each other more comfortably and that we can, you're not straining. Don't sit here for this whole talk going like that. Oh, it's good for the local chiropractor business, I suppose. Okay. Shariputra, our Heart Sutra, reminds us. Form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is exactly emptiness, emptiness exactly form. Sensation, perception, mental reaction, and consciousness are also like this. From the Heart Sutra. Okay. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Sensation is emptiness. Emptiness is also sensation. Don't forget that other part. Perception. Emptiness is perception. Perception is also emptiness, but emptiness is perception. The same with mental reaction. Mental reaction is empty, but also emptiness is mental reaction. And consciousness is the same. And today we're going to look a little bit at a little trouble that comes up sometimes with these mental reactions of ours, this experience we have. Because you see, the Buddha and the sutras and the teachings are all doing as much as words can do to help us come to full and complete awakening and enlightenment. But there are things that create resistance to this awakening. Real resistance. You have to understand a little bit about the topography of the wilderness you set yourself on to travel here. It really won't do to go off in a general direction and see what happens. It doesn't work out well. Not for this. Some people think that artistic endeavor and creativity is the way in. After all, I'm an artist, I'm a musician. I can remember feeling strongly that if I was to reach some epitome of the creative process, surely this would cascade into enlightenment. This is a way in to realize myself. And to some degree, perhaps. But the quick answer is no. Actually not. It can be a beautiful expression of awakening. You can express your understanding. You can express enlightenment. Very difficult to get to enlightenment through that, though. After all, if that was the case, then everyone who accomplished any kind of artistic endeavor would be enlightened. I'm not convinced that that's a believable truth claim, right? And I'm talking about world-class art. You know, I mean, there are people who can really, really play man, I mean, like I've often said, you know, Miles could play a ballad and just bring a tear to your eye, and it's no shade on that. That's amazing. But that didn't make Miles Davis an enlightened Buddha. Of course, he's a Buddha. We all are. But enlightened means you realize it. So I like art. It's important. Creativity is necessary. Upaya is a serious thing. But don't be fooled. Don't spend decades of your life pursuing art as the way to gain enlightenment. You might glance in it, you might shade in it, but it's not durable. It's not the way. The Buddha didn't give everybody little paint sets. So for those who are artistically inclined, you have to understand how to see it correctly. And for those who are not artistically inclined, don't worry about it. You don't have to be. It's cool, man. It's fine. Okay. Okay. The one that we talk a lot about, and now we get into the mental reaction business, is thinking. Thoughts. And we talk about that a lot. A lot. Just like art and creativity is good, both high, fine art and the creativity of making it through a day. So too, thinking is awesome. I appreciate good, clear thinking a lot. I've studied great thinkers. I hope you do too. And you cannot think your way into enlightenment. Even if the thoughts are slammingly correct and crushing it, they're only going to be as good as thoughts can be. Thinking. And the way this shows up typically is people collect, harvest, hoard insights. And there's this kind of running assumption in the intellect that if I have this insight, and I have this insight, and I have this insight into this thing, that somehow I'm going to stack up enough of an arsenal of these insights that it'll kind of cascade or equate to enlightenment. No, it doesn't happen that way. And I like me a good insight, and I hope you do too. It's good to have insights. Certain insights can be deeply meaningful, very helpful, both in a worldly way, and there are spiritual insights that you need to have. Give yourself the gift of them, but don't mistake that what you need to do to become enlightened Buddha is to keep having more and more insights and keep filing them and getting them together, and somehow they're going to stack up. The Buddha did not attain himself through having insights. Oh, he was a very insightful dude. But insight is not awakening, dear one. Awakening is not an insight. What's the difference? Think of it as there's this field, okay? This ground of being, we could say. Oh, and I do say. And from this field rises these thoughts, right? And these thoughts come from this field, this ground of being. They rise into awareness from causes and conditions largely unknowable, some perhaps to some degree knowable. And they rise, and the force that gave them rise is ended, and then they dissipate back in like waves coming up and down from the ocean. Let's say by analogy that these are the thoughts. So good thoughts by studying, let's say, the Heart Sutra, which I'm obviously fond of. But still, dear one, the thought that form is emptiness and emptiness is form, oh yes, I see it. Form is empty, yes. Oh, emptiness is also form. Oh, there we are. Emptiness is form. I got it. I'm going to catch that one. And I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to keep that close because that's a good one. You're fishing. Okay? And awakening is not a matter of collecting all the cool thoughts. They're important. In fact, I'd say they're critical, and sometimes, obviously, here we are chanting them. But awakening is seeing what are the thoughts, and more importantly, who is seeing those thoughts? Who is it that's witnessing this thought and deeming it worthy? Who is that? What is this thought? Where did it come from? Who are you? There's no number of thoughts collected, no matter how sweet they may be, that will give you the experience of falling into that ground of being of love. And dear one, you deserve to have that experience. It's there. You're expressing it constantly, whether you know it or not. Pro tip, it's better to know it. A lot better. And that gets a lot of airtime in Zen. But the one that doesn't, that I would like to bring our attention to, and this is another aspect of mental reactions. Okay? It's not just mental activity, the way it's used in the teaching, mental reactions. It's what you think of as your personality, you experience as your personality, let's say. It's not just thinking, it's also emotions. It's also emotions. So creativity is not the best way in. It's not the real way in. Thinking, not the way in. Emotions aren't the way in either. I love them. I bow to them. I have them. But awakening is not a feeling, dear one. It's not an emotion. It's not having a feeling of being all Zen or something. That's not what awakening is either. A feeling is another one of these phenomena that's raising from this hidden ground of love. Thoughts and feelings and thoughts. And believe me, I'm not saying that they don't matter or or suppress them all or any of that kind of stuff. That's rookie mistake stuff. It's how do we realize ourselves, you see. Each one of those thoughts and each one of those feelings are it too. Even the unwelcome ones, even the unwholesome ones. But dear one, who is it that's feeling this feeling? You see. Who's the witness? Who is the experiencer of this experience? And the thing about feelings and, as I perceive it, our current moment in history and society and everything, is that feelings are kind of become like the ultimate arbiter of truth in the secular world, in the mundane world. People don't so much care about data and facts anymore. Have you noticed this? It used to be that the data would kind of lead us to a direction, and you can get stuck in that too. That's thinking. But today, nobody cares about that. This is how I feel, so this is what's true. And you have to be very careful about this from a Dharma point of view. From a Buddha Dharma point of view, be very careful. You are not your thoughts. Also, dear one, you are not your feelings. These feelings are artifacts of experience that are rising from mind and are perceived. They're impermanent. They're not fixed. They don't stay. Have you noticed? Every feeling you've ever had has come and what? Gone. Who knows what the hell you were thinking 10 years ago? So who are you? Who are you? What is happening here? What is going on? So this kind of Fermiist apostasy, the Fermiism heresy, the Fermiist mistake, well, for me, this is what's true. Because I feel I'm sorry, dear one, that is not acceptable. And this is not personal. This is just Manju Shri's honking sword coming down on the cause of suffering. Your feelings are real, and they matter, but they're not you. And they may very well not be true. Well, what do you mean they're real but not true? You should know the difference. There you are, suddenly being chased by horrid monsters, demons. And then there you are falling off a cliff. And there you are drowning. There you are in front of the 5th grade class naked. You forgot your clothes that day. And your blood pressure is racing, and you're sweating, and cortisol levels are high. And for you, in your mind stream in that moment, that is real. But what's true is you're cozy in bed. You're dreaming, dude. You're dreaming. But for me, I'm drowning or falling from a cliff or being chased by monsters, or I'm naked in front of the class. No, you're having an experience is rising in mind, yes. And that matters, yes. Especially when your body's going through all the changes and stuff, I get it. But don't be confused by that. There is a massive emotional resistance to the realization of no self. It's huge. And it's not just a feature of this generation. No. This has been going on as long as people have been going on. Don't mistake your internal weather for an external fact. Just because the emotions are intense, it doesn't mean it's evidence of any objective fact, other than there's intense emotion arising now, that's true. But that's it. You won't come to awakening by corralling yourself into an intense emotional event. Therefore, we don't have carefully crafted and psychologically informed music designed to bring you to a swell of cathartic feeling tone and leave you up there, and everybody goes, poof, oh my God, and they get out their wallets. Maybe we should try it. But it's not like this. Feelings matter. Yes, they do. What's a healthy feeling? Devotion, humility, awe. Love it, good stuff. There's healthy fear, there's healthy all the feelings. But who's feeling that feeling? Okay? Social media right now, right? Truth by emotion. Truth adjudicated by emotion. Emotional intensity is taken as evidence. I'm furious. They must be wrong. Look how furious I am. Well, you don't believe me? Let me get more furiouser. Now, do you believe how wrong they are? Politics by vibe, not by investigation of fact. If I'm offended by this data, the data is clearly false. What else could it be? Here's a good one. Consumeristic self-help absolutism. Consumeristic, meaning capitalistic, for-profit, self-help, self-help. Absolutism. For me, So something like, trust your heart, your feelings never lie. Okay, it's a real feeling, but you need a few more data points. Well, for me, I feel. Why am I on this so much? Because you have to be, as your practice starts to actually get closer and closer to true realization, these defense mechanisms kick up. Yes, they do. And what most people do is they project them onto everyone else, everything else, the Sangha, the teacher, the society, whatever. It's the craziest thing, but I tell you, for those who have some experience with this, somebody can be stuck on a particular koan. This happens. They'll be stuck on a particular koan, and when you hear them complain or have big, strong emotions about something, if you knew what that koan was, and let's say you passed through that koan, and you had that one little data point, which you will not have, by the way. We don't do that. This is very confidential stuff. But if you did, let's say, pass a koan that dealt with this point, and you kind of knew what that was about from your own experience, and you suddenly listen to what's being said, you'd go, oh. I mean, it's as clear as day. And the Zen teacher then, am I going to explain it? No. Why? Because I'm not trying to get them to think right. I'm trying to get them to awaken. Am I going to try to correct their feelings? No. They're going to get what to them is a particularly unhelpful bit of counsel. Sit more. Bring me that koan. Ring, ring. Wow. And this happens all day. Guaranteed, I guarantee you, if you get far enough in your training, you will encounter this barrier, and you will have moments where you're going to have a choice to make. Am I going to stick this thing out and resolve this barrier, or am I going to project it on everything and everyone? And this is one of the teacher's great sufferings, honestly, pains, I should say. If I explain it to you, I do immeasurable harm because I deprive you from the ability to actually stumble and tumble into the experience yourself. And that is worth far more than just relieving this momentary discomfort from the perspective of a real teacher. There are so many koans where it's like, somebody's not seeing a thing, say, and they give up and they go and decide they're going to just tend the cemetery and they're going to tend the national teacher's grave, right? And that's what they do. They make a little hermitage and they just, they get a tiny house and they put it next to the cemetery and they just take care of the ancestors' graves because that's all the love will be good for. I kept going there to study and to come to awakening, and the teacher kept saying, sit more, and I sat more. It didn't work for me, so off I went, and then guess what? 10 years later, they hear the sound of a stone hitting bamboo from their broom, and then first they have a good laugh on it, and then they start crying, and then they turn in the direction of their beloved teacher who since passed away, and they drop and give serious bows. Thank you for not telling me. Why? Because the intellect will make a badge out of it and fossilize it. Makes it even perhaps impossible to realize it. Thank you for not just making me feel good all the time. That doesn't do it. What does it? It's not conflating your thoughts with what's true. It's not conflating your feelings with what's true. Not denying thoughts and feelings. But you need Sangha. You need noble friends that you can touch hands with and go, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? And you can kind of zone in and get a closer sense of what's actually true. Am I hallucinating this or not? And this has always been so since the beginning of the Sangha, since the beginning of the Buddhist teaching, the Sangha. None of us can really just do this whole thing on our own. And just because you're being authentic, which is a necessary step, it doesn't mean you're infallible. You can be authentically wrong. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, but for me, and I'm being authentic, yeah, and it's wrong. And if you can, if you can contact that, the spiritual warrior is grateful because now you just uncovered a blind spot. You've encountered a barrier that you can work through and actually take nutrition from. That too becomes fuel for awakening, necessary fuel for awakening. This is why there's such great respect needed for real practitioners of the Buddha Dharma, because you are literally swimming upstream. Everything else in your mind stream is saying, go along to get along, man. Chase the pleasure, run away from the pain, just, cop out, whatever. The church of feel good now, the practice of my way, I did it my way. God. That's our society is built on right now. You, dear one, you fool, you turn and try to swim up that stream. All the other fish are just going along with it and you're not. Yeah, that's hard until it's not. But all the other fish are going, what are you doing? So please do not collapse your creative process or your wonderful insights or your feelings with yourself, with truth. Honoring all those things, but honor them correctly. Feelings are real. We experience them. They matter. But they are momentary. They are conditioned. They are impermanent. Causes and conditions, known and unknown, like waves in the ocean, like patterns of weather. Well, like dharmas. Encounter a dharma, practice a dharma. Right view, the mundane version of right view, is not just decreed by how you're feeling at a given moment. You have to investigate, scrutinize. You have to be grounded. Big people pants on, grounded. Feet on the floor stuff. Pull your socks up. Grounded. Zen is very earthy. The Buddha Dharma is very physical. Just consider, you go visit the great cathedrals and stuff like that, which are awesome. I mean, you should get a chance to see them. Actually, Toledo is pretty amazing as far as it goes. But you walk in and everything is up, right? Whoa. The lights and the sounds and everything is up. Whoa. Right? You come in here. I love me a good motet. I dig it. And God, Palestrina. I mean, there's amazing choral church music. Great. In terms of art and music, I delight in it. Oh, it's so lovely, and it's so swirling up here. You come here. Why? Why do we do that? Because it's cool? No. It is cool, but it gives you this groundedness. Why do we sit like we sit? It's not random, man. It's not random. And you have to get it in your body. You have to get it in your cells. Not just think about it or have feelings or do a cool little art project about it. I'm fond of all those things, but that's not the same thing as your spine resonating at the frequency of awakening. Now I want to hear your thoughts. Now your feelings are a lot more believable, frankly. What do you feel? I want to know. Maybe I'm missing something. Your creativity, I want to see it. Please, enrich the world with it. Bring it. All of these things reinforce this false implied self. Which is an impermanent personality construct shaped by conditioning, reified and worshipped by emotional reactivity, which constantly asserts itself as me. And it's taken to be permanent, reliable, infallible, unassailable, and authoritative, and it is none of those things. Never will be, never has been. So what's this true self? What is this Buddha nature? What is this clear light? Non-conceptual, luminous, self-aware, blissful, empty, wisdom mind. This tathagata garbha, this womb of suchness, this womb of thusness, this universal mind is beyond name or form. Well, you're going to have to see that for yourself. I can help you, but only so much. You have to do it. And you can. So please do. Dedicate the merit of this Dharma talk to all those struggling. May they find their way. May we all find our way. May it be so. Yeah.
is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Thank you all for joining today.